Kazemi, kazoo, happy.
Dude, like, when are you upset with a kazoo?
Never.
Like, I love a kazoo.
You're not going to be like, I'm really sad. Let me get my kazoo out.
Let me play a sad song for you. I'm gonna do a ballad now.
I'm going to play Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton.
Ew. Could you imagine?
Have you ever been victimized by new age spirituality?
We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting.
You're gonna want to listen up.
I'm Megan, an intuitive life coach and Reiki master.
I'm Ryan, a professional astrologer, and we want to show you what spirituality is by talking about what it is not.
Con artist,
Yes,
snake oil salesman.
there are so many susceptible people out there.
And then they're tainted. They're ruined. They don't want to come back to spirituality.
We still have a lot to learn, and we will humble ourselves and learn, I think, every freaking day. This is Clairannoyance.
A podcast of spiritual interference.
I was just gonna start singing. For some reason, I was gonna start singing "Do You Remember?" But is that September or December? Now that I'm thinking about it, do you remember?
December. Yeah,
It's December. Damn it. Okay.
Yeah, we can do that for
Then
December.
whatever. Wake me up when September ends.
Yeah, there's another September song too.
I feel like there's probably
Here
a
we-
bunch. I don't know. Whatever. But here we are. It's
It's motherfucking September. How in the world? It's about to be my half birthday. I'm gonna be 39.5.
yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
about to be fall. We got the fall equinox this month. I'm ready for that, to be honest. It's about to be like in 1 week. I was just checking the weather app here in LA like yesterday, and in 1 week it's gonna hit like 100 again. I thought we were trending down, but nope, it's like going
Yeah, it
right
doesn't.
back up.
It doesn't actually, like September and October. It's like the hidden times to visit Charleston because you can still do all the touristy beach stuff. But it's not going to be as crowded
Yeah.
as in the summer.
Well, I also recommend April as a good time to go.
Yeah.
That was great when I went.
Yeah, come on back.
I
Come
know, I
on
can't
back, baby.
It's been well over a year already, dude. Oh my God. I know. I really do. I need to get away. Get away. Okay. Well, so we have a jam-packed month for everyone.
Surprise.
I know. Surprise. Well, it's like good. I mean, like obviously it's actually all a big toss-up because eclipse season is among us now. We got our first eclipse this month.
I was so bummed. I mean, because I literally
I know. You
got
texted me.
I know, because I did like the March, April eclipses, like bent over and spanked me like a bad little girl. And I was like, damn, I thought, I was
They
doing
were
that.
not fun. They were not fun.
No. And August, hard. We just came out of August. I mean, so congratulations, everybody, on making it through that month.
And as of recording this, Mercury is out of retrograde. So
Went live
yay.
yesterday. Whee!
Yay. So whatever. Everybody be on your business. Be on it. Stand on business. Do whatever. Honestly, I like this month overall. I think it's it's a mixed bag of things, but it's not as chaotic as August was. And I like October too. Despite eclipse season and a couple other, things that are going on as well. I think it's a good month. I do. And the eclipses I actually don't mind. So, we only have one this month, and then the next one is October 2nd. They're always 2 weeks apart from each other, but I'm not concerned as much. It's not nearly as potent as the springtime eclipses were.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's discuss. We have a theme, call and response.
Call and response.
It's
Roll
weird.
Virgo. Yeah. Do tell. What was the creative inspiration, Mr. Ryan, about this? About this?
Yeah. One of the mini themes is actually what inspired it, but then I couldn't get it out of my head. I'm so serious. I just kept thinking I was like, one of these mini themes is quite literally like a call and response. Um, and I was like, it just felt weird. I was like,
Hmm.
where do I go with that? Like, what the fuck? And I just couldn't get out of my head. I was like trying to like force all sorts of other themes into the month. And
Ew.
I
You
just
know,
couldn't get call and response out of my head. And then I started like looking it up. I was like, well, can I take this somewhere cool? Like, what is the history of call and response? I was like trying
hell
to
to the
find.
yeah, you can.
Well, I mean, now I know I'm taking it somewhere cool, but I was like, where does call and response come from? Like, try and do my little history lesson bullshit, right? And it comes from like Afro spiritual music and like even Christian congregations. A preacher says
Oh,
something from the Bible and the congregation says it back, et cetera, et cetera. But no, none of that's really what I even mean. So I'm like, we got a whole different like way of looking at this, and it's like a roundabout way. But I'm very excited about it because a big part of really what we're doing, call and response is its own thing, but like as the
mhm.
umbrella, right? But right under that is really just like I want to talk about Virgo because we're moving into Libra season at the like toward the end of the month. That's when the fall equinox hits. But the most of the month is Virgo. So
Uh-huh.
I feel like it makes sense to talk about Virgo this month, because most of the month is Virgo. Like that's how I'm
Yeah,
doing it. Rather than when the sun enters a sign, like rather than talk about
yeah.
Libra, I feel like it just makes sense to do it this way. Um,
I like it.
anyway, but like, people I feel like don't understand Virgo. Like I know you always have like funny things to say about Virgo. So like tell me what you think about Virgo.
Well, since they're the sister sign of me, but they're the sign they're
Yeah.
across, they're directly across. So they're
Yep.
6 months apart from Pisces. And my one joke about Virgos is the unbalance. I'm surrounded by Virgos and I love their order, okay? But an unbalanced Virgo will iron and starch their socks and their undies. Like that's a color coded loving son of a gun.
Mhm.
Okay. That Virgo now depends on your other placements, but I don't know a Virgo who doesn't love order in some arena, at least one arena, but strict order. Order that you're like, oh, we're taking these things to a new level. But then if your life gets out of whack, it's like, this, are you okay? Because there's an OCD element that kicks in where it's like, oh God, what are we doing here?
This is
Call the
so
police.
true.
They need to be
Yes.
hospitalized. Like they need to be
Yeah.
Baker acted. Like this is. Do you see how pristine this is? And then it's
Yeah.
never enough. So I'm always on the lookout when I start to see those OCD tendencies flare with my buddies. Yeah, I don't even know what starch is. So judge me if you will, or how to use it. What is it? A spray? Why? I just got a steamer and I can kind of understand their affinity to it, but oof,
I know. Well, and like I'm a Gemini. We're ruled by the same planet. Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury, but Mercury takes such different form between the two, which will actually be a little bit of what we talk about too. Um,
also
s-
their temper. Libra and Virgos, I feel like people don't like Virgo has such a cutting tongue where you're like,
uh-huh.
where in the actual fuck did that come from? I'm sorry. Like, I thought we were joking. And now you just went for the jugular and insulted like my whole family heritage. Like, eat a
Yeah.
dick. How about eat all of them? Yum, yum, yum. Oh, but when you're unbalanced, you're rude. So you will not be eating any chachas or dicks. So that's the insult I go towards.
It's because they spend a lot of time like reading themselves in their head. They have
Yes.
chewed on all of those cutting words
So the
on
first thing you have on here, I just called them. Well, you're not prudes, but
well,
Virgo is pure, the virgin. Makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that's like one of the like main like Virgo the Virgin. That is like its archetype. I mean, every sign
Yeah,
has numerous archetypes. We're kind of gonna talk about a couple, but so I would definitely want to like talk about it in a way that like people don't
yeah, not
think of
like that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but this is like a real like good astrology shit that we're about to get into here, which is like because you're spot on, like in what you say of like Virgo is color coded, they are organized meticulously so in something, right? So this comes into play, but it's like, why are they that way? Like how it, and a lot, it's unconscious for so many people, right? It's just like how they are. It shows up in that sort of like
You
everything's in a
tell them, yeah, and you
spreadsheet.
point it out, and they're like, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "I don't know anybody who's like hustling for yard of the month like you."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, dude. No, that's so, yes. Um, they, and I think it's important to like put everything into context, right? So part of this is also going to be about where Virgo falls in the developmental cycle of the zodiac, like what it is. So, but let's
Mhm.
back up. Virgo, the virgin, right? What
Yep.
we mean by virgin, yeah, sure. It like some like nuns, very Virgo energy. Um, but it's the energy of purity, which can go a few routes, but really it's purity that is achieved through the act of separation,
Hmm.
which sounds a little strange, but like a common phrase people say with Virgo is separating the wheat from the chaff, you know? And that is like, honestly, as far as the call and response theme goes this month, it's going to really relate to that in the sense of separating the wheat from the chaff is the process of discerning which calls to respond to and which ones to ignore, basically. Like a lot of noise this month, but there's going to be a calling that you're probably going to need to respond to. It will
Hmm.
be Virgo in nature, and I'll explain what that means. But there's this like that the separation that Virgo goes through is a distillation process. Virgo is detail oriented, right? It breaks things down to its rawest, most natural form. Um, and it's like it does that because as the sixth sign, it's the last sign in the first half of the zodiac. Okay. I know I've said this before, but just like repeat, the first half of the zodiac is self development, right? So we go through those first six signs, we land on Virgo at the end of the self development cycle. And so Virgo's like, look at all this that I've been through and all these things that I am. And especially coming out of Leo, right? Leo is ego. It is total self-acceptance. It is confident. It is brash and loud and dramatic and blah 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 blah. Every sign after corrects the sign before. So Virgo's correction to Leo is that's a lot. You're like just doing too much. Let me like not all of that is useful, right? Virgo is of use. It is dutiful. And it is literally the most like it rules skill building and it's the sign that is most of service in the world, essentially. And everybody has it, so don't worry, we're all of service somewhere. But it's like it refines, right? Like that's the whittling down of like that Leo energy of like, here's who I am, authenticity, ego with Leo, right? Ruled by the sun. I'm
Hmm.
gonna shine no matter what. It's a lot. Virgo's like the self mastery sign now. So it's like, but not all of me is meant to do something, but these specific bits of me are. So what are my bits? That's the purification that Virgo goes
Ooh,
through.
my
Um,
bits, baby.
yeah. So it's really interesting. So it's between Leo, self actualization. Well, it's after Leo, but then it's also before Libra, right? Libra is the first sign of the second half of the zodiac. The second half has to do with things outside of the self. Libra, sign of partnership, relationship. And so Virgo's also trying to master the self and determine its usefulness because it's like I don't know how I fit in the world outside of me, in a relationship, in a job, in a whatever, until I'm very certain of what I'm very good at, and where I
Mhm.
can be of service the most. So it follows that really cool. It's a really cool in between space between like ego, but then also uh, like I am for me, but I'm also for you. What does that mean? How can I be for anything
Yeah.
else but me if I don't know what I am good at, essentially? So Virgo is like the judgmental sign, the critical sign, right? They love repetitive motion to get really, really good at things over time. Like they are
Lots of engineers, like a lot of practical, like,
numbers people.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
accountant.
Yep. They are very rooted in the mundane, real world matters, very human stuff, which we're kind of also going to get to,
You
basically.
really gotta sell like all the Virgos in my life. When I became an energy healer, I was like, oh, all right, how am I gonna explain this in a language? It was actually great though, because I had to articulate myself in a manner that was not woo-woo
Yeah.
and was that where I could give them a bit of practicality and pragmaticism where I was like, this is what I'm doing, and this is how it happens. And, if you believe I know you go to
Yeah.
church,
That's what
so
Pisces has to learn for sure. You got to reach to
mhm,
that Virgo side. You're supposed to reach to the polar opposite and balance everything here, right? We want all
yeah.
the signs balanced within us. Um, so that's why it's like got a virgin element to it, just because virgin is the idea of purity, right? It's untainted, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and Virgo has to strip things back a lot. So a lot of times with Virgo, you see them as like health nuts. Um, or there is this element of like, I'm giving something up. So they'll, you know, get rid of bad habits very productively to enhance their productivity, basically. Like nutrition, they might cut something out of their diet, right? Like that can always be a really big thing. They struggle with like the negative self-talk, so they often have to like learn to cut that out. But it can also show up like in a chastity end as well, right? Like where
Mhm.
like a nun would. And then morality also shows up. So that's like really what the Virgo Virgin thing is. Um,
Mhm.
they also know timing, like in that process of self-mastery, they not only discover like what I'm uniquely good at and how that can fit into the world outside of me, but like when do I apply that? Because I can't just be on all cylinders at all times doing what I do. So like that's sort of that idea of knowing when to answer a certain call, like and be of service when the opportune moment presents itself. Um, an interesting thing as well is Virgo is a mutable sign, a sign that ends the season. There are four of them. Everybody always thinks of like Pisces and Gemini, I think, as the two that are quote unquote double bodied. All the four mutable
Mhm.
signs are double bodied. Gemini's the twins, right?
Mhm.
Um, Pisces is the two fish.
Mhm.
Sagittarius is the bow and arrow, or the like half man, half horse. And then Virgo is the weird one. Like it just doesn't fit. And it's probably like the mutable signs are adjustable, changeable, adaptable. Virgo is probably the least changeable and adaptable, but it is changeable. Um, it's the maiden, which is basically like the virgin. It's the maiden and the bird. So if you look at a lot of Virgo things, you will see a
Mhm.
bird pictured with this virgin typically. So weird. What do you mean a bird, right? But like also go figure Mercury, when you see Mercury pictured, like the character or Hermes, it's got the winged shoes, right? Like, so there's this flight
Mhm.
element. Aquarius technically rules like birds and anything that flies and things that are in the sky. But Virgo rules migratory birds, right? And birds have this consistency to them. Every morning, you know when those birds are going to start chirping their and
Let me
away,
tell
right?
you, when I was a party monster, that's how if I heard the birds, I was like, my day's fucked. I mean, and now I love hearing them, but it was like that was my signal that I've taken things too far and that the next day is toast. And like I hated the sound of birds. And now I'm like, oh, come on.
No, it's like I know.
Oh, it's the
Um,
worst. You're like, I am an absolute disgrace to myself and to Virgo, and humanity for behaving in this depraved manner. And then my Pisces sign is like, go do more, go do more. So, yeah,
yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
I know. And so it's really funny because I don't know, like even like thinking of you as Pisces, like it
Hmm.
it inherently plays a role in this Virgo story. And Pisces is the last sign of the second half of the zodiac, right? So they're both last signs of their respective halves of the zodiac. That second half of the zodiac, though, right? It starts with Libra, partnership, me and you.
Mm-hmm.
As it progresses into Pisces, Pisces is all that is total oneness, total unity. So that second half of the zodiac is about the integration, right? Where all those bits that Virgo just broke up are
Yeah.
now supposed to come back together. So Virgo would be like the ingredients to make your bread. And then like separating the wheat from the chaff, and Virgo literally
Yeah.
rules wheat. And then the like baked loaf of bread where everything comes together is like Pisces, right? So there's this, they're so different because Pisces seeks disillusionment and like unity through that. And
Yeah.
then Virgo seeks separation because it can't figure out how to fit in or melt with everything else until it knows what it
Yeah.
even is, right? Oil and water don't go together. You're going to need something to make that work. Um, so I think it's like a really interesting concept here that idea of separation, it just makes sense for them. They know more of themselves when they are able to separate their socks, color code their books, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're figuring things out in life in a very human and mundane material way, which is
Mm-hmm.
incredibly important for them. So they struggle with like the spiritual side of life. They can be very powerful when they are spiritual and they are attuned to spiritual stuff. But, and this is why I'm bringing up the bird thing too, because Virgo is the sign most closely associated with animals. So, like a lot of vets are Virgos. Um, they will see signs and spirituality, and they've got that connectivity to the natural world in a really cool way. Even the body, it rules like Taurus, the first earth sign, kind of like understands what the body is. It recognizes that the body is its own. But Virgo's like, oh, the body's the temple, though, right? So, like, go figure you that, like, that's you integrating your opposing energy there as like someone who
Mm-hmm.
is like up every freaking morning without fail on this regimen, working out like crazy, you know? No, it's true. And
Yeah.
then, and it's also interesting because you do it for competition, right? So thinking of
Yeah.
that, Libra is justice and judgment day. So that's another reason why Virgo is like, I'm going to get really good at this thing. I'm going to be the best, most pure form of this thing possible because I know what comes next is judgment day. And I want to be good. I want to be
And ain't nobody gonna
virtuous.
judge you like a Libra boy. I mean, like I
Right.
will. Yeah, you better at least put some lip gloss on before you see
Yeah.
those folks, because
I mean,
they are.
inherently, right? Like, even if you are the purest, best form of anything, the
There's
second
still
someone
room for
else is there.
improvement in
Well,
a
that's Virgo,
Libra.
though. Well, no, that's Virgo. Libra's
Yeah,
just, it's just the confrontation with something outside of you that
yeah,
inherently there's judgment there now. Like before, if it
hmm
was just you and your pretty little like capsule all by yourself, like nobody's there to judge you but you, but like you learn judgment from the outside world anyway. It's not like that's a learned behavior. So
so fascinating.
even if a Libra like just freaking loves you or something, you're still gonna feel an element of judgment, like perceived judgment from them because it's
Always.
something that's outside of you, looking at you. So that's like so interesting, right? And that's why like the also the process of Virgo is really important because what if you just went, and I'm saying this for a specific reason, what if you just went from Leo to Libra? Not cool, right? That's why Leos have
Yeah.
that idea of rubbing a lot of people the wrong way because they're so unabashedly and very fully
You said
themselves.
not cool. And as somebody who has a lot of people of all these, that you know what? That was a great transition. Because yeah, you do need that little bit of solo refinement
Yeah,
because that would be an ego nightmare. Go from
yeah.
Leo to Libra. Oh hell
Leo,
no.
well, and then if a Virgo feels judged by a Libra, like imagine Leo is going to feel super judged because Libra's going to be like, that's all too much. Like you're not even trying to impress me or refine yourself or something, right? Like you're not like you're just like putting it all out there.
You are not, you scum. You're not even. And then I don't, Leo will eat you. I mean, fuck your scales. Watch this. One, two, three.
Yeah.
Fuck them scales. That is
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I know that like all these things seem a little sporadic. I know, but I promise this is like kind of coming together, okay? Um Basically, I want to talk now about a myth. I'm just gonna like breeze through this. I won't give the whole thing.
Well,
But
side
like
note, I've been getting these hilarious texts from you in the morning. I wake up to go do my Virgo practices in the gym, and it's like, Juno, like, so if you listen to our last or August astrology, Juno had a there was a big presence with her. And so it's, you had an interesting Juno moment, personally. And Juno is now just popping up in pop culture with several different references. So I would wake up in the morning and you were like, you just can't even make it up. Look at
yeah.
this.
Do you know what I just saw? No, I'm dead serious. It's so crazy. Like I actually had an absolute. I can't even get into the story right now. Like it wouldn't make sense to most listeners here. But I had an insane Juno story that I told Megan about last week.
Yeah.
But then Sabrina Carpenter has a song called Juno on her album. And when you hear it, you're like, oh my God, this is literally about Juno. She's like, make me your Juno, basically, like, make me your wifey. Essentially, it's like, I'm probably misquoting the lyrics,
Yeah.
but it's like, it was very apparent. But then she just had a TikTok video that I also saw yesterday where she was like, it's not about Mount Juno. Like, people think it's about Mount Juno. It's about Juno the movie. And I'm like, oh, well, that character is based off of Juno, the goddess. So yeah, it's about Juno at the end of the day. Like that's what it
Yeah.
is, lady. Anyway, so those things happened. But then last night, I just saw that Netflix has some new movie coming out where it's reimagining the gods in like modern day world, like in human form and shit. And Juno is Hera, basically. It's like Zeus instead of Jupiter
Yeah.
and Juno. It's Zeus and Hera. So Hera's in it. Juno is like in this new show that Netflix is about to drop. Why is like we predicted the crap out of Juno? I just have to say, like, what a random thing that we decided to spend time on. And I really cannot even begin to tell you guys, like, I had the craziest Juno thing happen. To
Your
me, it's like
transit, your
mind-boggling.
predictions have been like
Some weird shit.
freaking
No, weird shit.
on
Like it's like
point.
kind of freaking me out, to be honest. I'm like kind of
Nuh-uh,
not
don't
enjoying
do
it.
that. Accept the gifts.
No, I know. Okay, so let me just say,
Confidence. There's a loop and you've been practicing. So there's a reason why they're coming true.
mm-hmm. Okay, so Echo and Narcissus. The reason I want to talk about this is one, Juno's involved. Go freaking figure. Of course, Juno is back. But
Girl,
Echo
don't
and
do it.
Girl, don't do it.
Girl, don't do it.
I already
Don't do
did it.
I know.
This is basically like a myth that to me is like what would happen if we didn't have Virgo energy. Like this is how life would be. So, long story short, Narcissus is this hottie dude, and Echo is like, okay, like a nymph. We know what a nymph can do, and and Echo basically captured Jupiter's attention. Who's Jupiter married to again? You listen to last month? Juno.
Juno.
So Juno's jealous wifey ass is like, Jupiter, like, I am yours, not that nymph over there. So Juno basically curses Echo to only be able to say things like in an echo form. So she can only repeat what other people say. So blah, 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 blah. I'm skipping a lot of the story here, but blah, 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 blah. She spots Narcissus. That's his name, Narcissus. Okay. Leo, ego. Okay. She spots Narcissus. Isn't this like perfect? Like it's crazy how this just like
It's
came
so
to me.
insane.
I'm dead serious. Like I couldn't think of a better theme than call and response. I'm so serious. Okay. So, Echo spots Narcissus in this like forest and is just like watching from afar, like creeper. But then Narcissus is like says some stuff, right? And Echo responds, but in the echo, right? Like, so it's kind of weird. Narcissus starts realizing like somebody's kind of getting back to him. Like he says, like, we should get closer, and then the echo is like, we should get closer. And so they're like trying to find each other, basically, right? I think Narcissus, being a narcissist, is like expecting, I don't know, Aphrodite or like the most beautiful person in the world, basically. Echo eventually like gets straight up to Narcissus, and Narcissus is like not expecting a nymph, I think. So, or like whatever. And so Echo tries to like be like, but I'm the one you're looking for. Like it was me the whole time, right? But like can't speak a thought, can't do anything but respond in that way. And so Echo like tries to like kiss him or something, or she touches him basically, and he like backs off, and like their kind of like last exchange is him saying like basically like get away from me, don't touch my body. And then she responds by saying, touch my body, touch my body, touch my body. And then like is embarrassed because that's all she can say. And so she like runs away. And then he ends up ends up falling in love with his own fucking reflection in a pool. And then he dies there because he can't stop looking at himself. But then she just dies all alone too. Point being, so he's a narcissist, right? Like
Oh.
egotistical. I'm sorry, any Leos. I'm not like, this is just a stereotype. I know. Okay. But it's a thing a Leo needs to be worried about. All of us have that somewhere. We got to be worried about our ego a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If the ego takes over narcissism, you're going to miss probably like your ability to like actually be in good relationship, or you totally overshadow like another person and their who they could be for you, right? So like narcissists totally missed this person who like definitely was into him. At the same time, Echo was just chasing this person and just like every footstep, every word, right? Just like kept saying that like you live for this other person, you forget who you are, right? So that's it's like there's no self-refinement. There's no Virgo in that story to me. That is like
Ooh.
Leo, Libra, Leo, Libra. It's got Leo's egoism and it's got Libra's codependence, right? But
Mm-hmm.
there's not Virgo separates as a tactic, it separates, but Virgo would separate that unhealthy relational dynamic as well in that myth if Virgo energy existed in that myth, but it didn't. So that's why I want to bring it up because I think that's really interesting. There's such a loss of self if you don't
Yeah.
embrace that self mastery that Virgo teaches.
You'll get lost in the void. You'll become one of the two. You'll become, well, not a narcissist, but the narcissist in the story, or a giver and a taker. And a taker always can recognize a giver, and a giver always has a hard time putting boundaries in with that taker. Mm.
Mhm.
Mm, 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 mm.
Mhm. I know. It's really interesting. So, and obviously there's the call and response literally happening in that. Like Narcissus is calling out and Echo's responding. Like it just fucking makes sense to me. I think there's a
Girl,
lot of other
choose better men, okay? Like, love yourself first. Get some Virgo energy up like falling
well,
for Big Daddy Zeus. That's not good. That's
yeah, and
yeah.
then narcissist, like, but that's like kind of
Oh,
a very Libra energy of like, I just need someone else. Like, why can't I be by myself? I need someone else so bad that I'm gonna stalk them through a forest and repeat everything that they got to say. I know Juno cursed you, but like, whatever. Like, you still followed Zeus around basically before Juno cursed you. So there is a call this month to answer the like self-awareness and self-mastery that Virgo teaches, right? Um, before moving into relationship or before moving into trying to figure out where you're of service, how you can actually do something that makes impact. And it's so important too, like Virgo energy, what it teaches us beyond all this is it is the work that creates the overnight success story. Like whenever somebody is like, oh my God, it's
ooh,
like they're an overnight success. The Virgo part inside you is like, that was 10 years of hard work that you never saw. I was literally just on
yeah,
the phone the other day with one of my friends who like just lost 40 pounds, quit smoking this year, and she's going through a sixth house year. Sixth house, sixth sign, Virgo's sixth
yeah,
sign. It relates to sixth house, which is where we're building habits and getting healthy and doing all these
yeah,
things. And so she's like living her best life right now because she's stuck to better routines. And all I know is the end result of that. Like she's better. She's got time. She started
yeah,
reading because of all this stuff. Like, but I don't know how hard that was. I don't know that overnight. I just see that end result and success story. So
yeah,
that's the interesting thing here too. I think that's also coming into play of like nobody sees the work that Virgo does. So they get overlooked quite often unless they're working very closely with a teacher or a mentor, then that teacher or mentor can kind of like open doors for them and get them into good positions because that person intimately knows how hard the Virgo is working. But otherwise, people just see that end result and they don't know how hard a Virgo's working, right? So,
yeah.
point of saying all this is, and some of these things will kind of make more sense as we go through the transits, but there is a calling this month. Okay. I firmly
Mm-hmm.
believe that. I really think that people are going to feel called to something, whether that call is coming from within, from another person, from the universe. I don't know, but there's a calling, and I think you got to listen to it. And I was trying to even think like, could you be the call, when you're wanting someone else to respond? No,
Yeah.
I really don't think that's the case, actually, because of Mercury ruling Virgo. But it's different with Gemini. Like Gemini's the talker, the communicator, the masculine version of
Yeah.
Mercury, the active version of Mercury. So Gemini's the energy that would more likely be the call. Virgo's feminine. It's receptive. So it's responsive. It's listening instead of talking. So listen closely for the call. Separate the noise so you know what the call is that you're supposed to answer, don't go answering other people's calls. Don't like Virgo can get their like really bad side if they're too stuck in the mud is like that phrase. It's like can't see the forest through the trees, right?
Mm.
So they can get focused on the wrong things for sure. So you need to make sure, which is like a very good thing that Virgo can also teach you, is discernment and that time to to individuate and develop self mastery to know where you uniquely fit. So you know the call that's right for you because you know you are well prepared, the timeliness of it, the opportune moment when you can slot yourself in and be of service to the world outside of you. So I do think you're answering a call that you are uniquely prepared for. It's not a new call to like just get something else going. Like Virgo has put in the work. It's
Yeah.
the end of
Not
the
a new call.
self-development,
Ooh,
right?
I love that.
Isn't that
I
interesting?
love that. Yeah, because but the thing is cut the fucking noise. And that's
Yes.
where,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
cut,
Because the
cut
Virgo
shit.
in its effort to be of service, it can give everything up for anything that calls. You know what I mean? Like it'll
Yeah.
just be like, yeah, look how good I can be. Like they can be very like a virtuoso or like what's the bad side of
Yeah.
that? You know what I mean? Like it can have that
Yeah.
almost like even a martyr energy. There, like look at everything I did for you. The other thing
Oh,
though
that
too.
line has been used on me by
Ew,
Virgo.
I hate it. Ew, I hate it. Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
it. And that's why, like, Virgo as the virgin, purity, there is, and like that nun energy, the I'm stripping things back energy. Uh, it they don't get that credit, right? Just like people don't see the work you did to be that overnight success. So another signal here is like it's a call you've already prepared for. Like you can do this, you can answer it. But it's also a call that's going to require a response that you will likely not receive some sort of public acclaim for. It's not about that. It's about just doing it because it's the right thing to do, the good thing to do, because you are the one that can actually accomplish that task. You're not doing it for cheers. That's Leo. You're correcting that need for the applause here with Virgo. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that I have to say, and that their response has that element of goodness to it, I guess. Like a Virgo response has competence, it has precision, it doesn't need to waste more energy than what's required of
Yeah.
it. It wants to,
Flawless
yeah,
execution. Let's get it done.
yeah, exactly. So those are important things, I guess. Um, and it's not like I think I wrote something else down about speech acts. You can look that up. It's like a pretty basic form of like just like speech theory or psychology or whatever. But
Hmm.
it's just about like how speech itself, things you say, Mercury, planet of communication, this matters, uh, can be acts themselves. Like we often think of like acting as like an earthly energy or like Mars. Mars is planet of action, right? And Mercury's communication and ideas. But your ideas or what you say, your words can be an act themselves. So like a speech act is something that's expressed that presents information but performs an action like an apology. It's doing something. It's not just like Gemini will just take in random information, spit out random information. I say that lovingly as a Gemini, right? Virgo's going to make
Yeah.
sure that information is of use. So it's got like purpose to it. So, and a response, an answer is a speech act. So when you are responding, it's not just about, oh, that's my call. Here I go. and then you perform that act flawlessly. Flawless execution. I love that you said that. But it's like how you respond is just as important as knowing
Yes,
what the call
with
is.
taste and tact. Because I'll tell you, they do not like if you're tacky, like, and that's the
Yeah.
best word, like, oh boy, don't do it. So yeah, don't. Sometimes the best thing to do is to shut up. If you don't have any, if you can't figure out what to say in that moment, say, I just need a moment before you emotionally react. I cannot stress with the upcoming uh transits that we have, emotional control and having that and being able to emotionally regulate yourself. I wanted to pop the fuck off yesterday and I did not respond to anyone. And today I'm a calmer individual. I was about to see, like, fuck you, fuck your house, fuck your mama, fuck this business we have together, fuck this, fuck that, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck. I don't care. And future me was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
I have a paragraph written out that I was going to get on. I don't do a live. Get on here and be like, keep my name out. I mean, like, it was classy, but I still might do it. But like,
Man.
keep my name out your mouth. It's silly to think that things are going to get back to me. Mm. So, yeah.
uh, yeah. You gotta like put your energy into
But I'm
something
not.
useful.
You've got to have emotional regulation. So, channel that.
Yeah.
Virgo.
Yeah, that purity, right? Like all that
Yeah.
other shit is the fluff. Leo would have no problem adding in all those other emotions and like everything that comes along with that like kind of type of response, I guess, or whatever. But like, yeah, the emotional regulation of Virgo is going to know how to do that for sure. For sure. Well-adjusted Virgo.
Yep, and it'll be pointed, like it'll be a crescendo of emotion with the speech call to action, like right here, this is where we peak with emotion, and then we're gonna come down. So it's pointed and it's more memorable. And people will take it more seriously compared to if you're flying off the fucking handle, not able to control yourself because your feelings are hurt.
Yeah. And that's like also, seriously, that is like also potentially what like your calling could be. Everybody's gonna have a different calling, right? But like it could just be that, like that your emotions get the best of you too much. And so your calling is that you need to respond to this emotional matter in an emotionally intelligent way. You need to not let your emotions get the best of you. You're probably going to be required to answer the call in a way that you can do. You are prepared to do this now, that you won't really receive the credit
And
for.
you might not like it. Like, so many people get stuck on their feelings. I'm like, your feelings cannot rule the show.
No.
You cannot let that happen. You're so fucked.
Yeah, and say it's in a relationship. Say you have a habit of like responding overly emotionally or something, right? Like constantly with someone. If you answer the call to control the emotions in your response this time, this is telling me that like you don't expect that person to notice. Do not expect them to clap for you and be like, "Oh my God, that was like the nicest you've ever responded to me. That was productive communication. Good job." They're not going to do that. Like you have to do that yourself.
Side note, if you work with me, though, we do celebrate those wins.
No, that's good. Yes. What a cherry on top if that were to happen, I think. But
True.
I think the most important thing is that you're actually giving that to yourself, like that you're proud of yourself for
All
being able to
day.
do this.
Yeah. No, it's lunation time. So we got a beautiful new moon coming, and this is the kind of last new moon, if I'm understanding this correctly, because you never want to manifest or set intentions during eclipse season. So this new moon is a good time to do it. Next new moon, nay, do not do that. So it's new moon in Virgo, September 2nd.
Yeah. Yeah, like really, and it's so early on. So I'd be like, as soon as September hits, just eclipse season has begun and it'll go until mid-October, basically. So, but the new moon is not an eclipse, just FYI. So this is an interesting energy though, because like in a way, I feel like this is like backwards. It's sort of like you're responding to something before knowing what the call is. It's a good new moon overall. I like it. Again, it's like I think there's that element of refinement or purification with it where it's like you're not on, I wouldn't use this to just like, unless you've been thinking for a long time, like, I really need to initiate this really good habit, or I'm going to take this action to eliminate something that's bad from my life. Like, go for it. Go for it. New moon, sure. Just do it sustainably, create a good detailed plan, right? So you know what step by step you need to do
Mhm.
to achieve this like new healthy habit or to get rid of something that's not good for you, I guess, if you want to. I feel like it's good to integrate at this, like bring in something new if you want to. Um, so it'd be like if you're really trying to lose weight, then this would say good time to sign up for a gym membership, like bring in something if you want
Yeah.
something bad to go away. Okay. But it can be like, it's like a call to refinement, I would say, most likely for things you've already been working on. It's like the next step of that purification. Like I keep thinking of it like I'm carving some wooden object and now I'm moving on to like the most fine-grained tool
Yep.
possible with
Yep.
this. And I need to master that level of like meticulous precision.
Detail is the name of the game, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Did you know also, this is so funny you said that because, well, I mean, whatever. One of the things I was like thinking of for this, like with Virgo, when I was like not sure of what theme to do, they're detail oriented, right? And I was like, devil in the details. Did you know devil in the details actually started as God is in the details?
Wow.
I know. I was like, what? And then I didn't want to get too distracted. So I didn't look at when that changed from, but isn't that weird? It was
Yeah.
God is in the details. And then who changed it to the devil's in
Yeah.
the details? How did that happen? What's that story? Listeners, if you
Come
know,
back, as I say, yeah, do some research and come back. To me, it's like that white glove, when somebody does a cleaning inspection, puts the white glove on, goes through, it's like, is there dust on this finger? Go back, hit it twice, hit it 3 times,
that's,
hit it 4 times. Let's get it done.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's like that further finessing of the self. So go for it. And especially if it's something you want to stick with. I don't know. I like it. It's a good new moon overall. It does oppose Saturn, which can be a challenge. Like you're like, oh God, this is that final step. Like it's difficult. There's like even more narrowing of the focus here with Saturn. It doesn't want you doing too much. So it is like,
Yeah, but the thing about Big Daddy Saturn is that it like when you do what you need to do, then you're gonna get that nice butt pat. You're gonna get a reward. You're gonna get a good job if you do a sufficient job of mastery. But and you're gonna get that extra credit. But yeah, if you're just out here dilly dallying and not
mhm.
doing what you need to be doing, then no, fail. F.
Yes, 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 yes. And yes. And it's sustainable with Saturn too. It's not about the instant gratification. It's more, and I will say too, there is like actually some really cool shit going on at the end of this month. I would say probably more on a personal end. I think collectively, maybe the end of September and going into October could be a little bit of a mess collectively. I don't even want to go there. But on a personal end, if you are abiding by the new moon and trying to start something, good momentum here, even with the eclipses for like a payout at the end of the month. But I would say that payout coming, it does involve Saturn. That's why I'm saying this. I think it's most likely to come if you are showing like the universe that you are consistently working on this. Like you are sticking to this plan. It's not
Mhm.
about like this to me is like a Virgo new moon in general is not the new moon to be like, please, universe, bring this thing to me. Like a Virgo new moon is the time where you tell yourself, I'm going to make this happen. And I'm going to just start right now. I'm just going to do
Yeah,
it every day.
action, action,
Yeah.
action,
Yep. And then the
people.
universe will support you. I really think people can achieve things if it's actionable this month and it's something that you think could feasibly transpire by the end of the month, but maybe the universe could help you out a little bit. If you stick with it this month, just do it. Just freaking do it. I love that it is literally like from the start of the month when the new moon is, and then at the very end of the month, there's kind of this like promise of a payout if you're working. So I do like it. I do like it. And it's a sustainable payout. You know what I mean? So
Ooh.
for what that's worth. And then we got dun dun
Full
dun.
moon with the eclipse. So you better want eclipse reminder, everyone. Be careful, like double check your steps, double check. It's very similar to kind of like a Mercury retrograde warning, like like double check like your email. My client who works at a very Catholic school, high school, very she was sending out an email and saying something like calling the kids her ducklings, and it auto corrected to dicklings, but because I without and so she went and double checked it, thank God, because it wasn't read in the email. So she was like, Megan said to double check. So she called and she was like, you literally saved my job. And I was like, oh, that's a little too much credit, but like, what's going on? She was like, no, if you had not expressed to me on multiple occasions to double check, she was like, I would have sent out to because she's the head of English, the whole English department, all the kids, all the parents, like, hello, dicklings.
Oh my God.
I was like, you hope they have a good sense of humor. But
Oh yeah. I feel so bad.
can you imagine? So that being said, double check everything. Accident prone. If something leaves you might think you're going in one direction, and then it's like if you and I are talking and then a smoke bomb gets dropped in the middle of our conversation. It does not matter what we were talking about. We have got to deal with a smoke bomb that just went off, and it's abrupt change of courses. Also, people can die. Things can perish. So you need to be extra careful during this time.
I love the way you delivered that. People can die at this eclipse. Oh my God.
All eclipse.
No, it's true. It's true. I would say like eclipses tend to like more so they've correlated with the deaths of like prominent figures. Like it was kings, but then it's like anybody who's like visible in a public eye. We often hear of like very unexpected deaths happening around eclipses for sure. I will say, I mean, Megan's totally right. All of these things are better safe than sorry to do all that. But the good thing about this one is that it's a partial lunar eclipse, meaning I don't want to get too technical, but like an eclipse occurs when the sun and moon, it's either a new moon or a full moon. In this case, it's a full moon, so the sun and moon are opposing each other in the sky, 180 degrees apart. The north node and south node are also 180 degrees apart at all times. So whenever a new moon and full moon is happening within a specific set of degrees to the nodes, then it's an eclipse. In this case, it's a weird one because the nodes are in Aries and Libra. It's like this should be, if it's an eclipse, it should be an Aries eclipse, but it's like an out of sign eclipse. It's a partial eclipse. It's a weirder energy, so it's not as like strong.
Does that mean it's stronger or weaker?
It's weaker. It's weaker.
Right.
And even if they were in the same sign, it could still be a partial eclipse because they're enough degrees away from the node.
Well, the out of sign, because I was wondering, I was like, how the fuck is this in Pisces? Because you know what? I have prominent Aries placements, so I just got whacked for Venus and Mars, and I got a Pisces Sun and Pisces Mercury. So I'm like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So this to me, I feel like this is symbolic of, I'm not saying everybody's going to get a calling on this day, but this to me is the energy that is most symbolic of a calling. I could fit so many things this month into like that energy of a call and a response, but this one is like a calling because it's a full moon. Full moons are times of illumination, culmination, revelation, right? Like you're very aware of something by that point, and it's in Pisces, the sign of the universe, synchronicity, like divine timing coming in, and eclipses are already like kind of twists of fate. And so it does feel like you're just made aware of something, and it's like a little like a bit of an epiphany almost. And you're like, oh my God, like that's it. I got to do that thing, and it could be uncomfortable though, too. I think, especially with Virgo being at play, it's Virgo season. Like Pisces is the spiritual sign inherently. Virgo, not so much. It is more of the scientist, real world people. They struggle probably the most with tapping into esoteric or spiritual energy. But their form of spirituality is in the real world. So basically this calling it's like high likelihood, especially if it's happening around this time, high likelihood that the calling is more of a spiritual thing in nature, but that it's requiring a response that's very mundane, very real world. So it could be like you get, God tells you in a dream that you need to become a vegetarian. And so you just cut out all meat all of a sudden. I mean, weird example.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of thing where like it really changes like your relationship to the material world somehow. And that is how Virgo integrates with spirituality. And actually, like at the highest, Virgo is like the mediator between the spiritual world and the mundane world. Pisces technically, I mean, they've already gone through this process as the last sign. It's integrated it all. So Pisces already has a foot in this world and another foot in the spiritual world. Virgo has put in more work to acquire this. And they don't really ever have a foot always in the spiritual world. They just kind of channel spiritual energy through the material world. Really freaking cool way. So I do like this. It's like, this is not a full moon, even though it's in Pisces. I guarantee you're going to see astrologers or whatever being like, meditate, take a bath, like do all this spiritual self-love stuff. I'm like, nah, this is definitely saying like there's something you need to do, like physically in this world that to respond to this call.
Yeah, put your shoes on and let's move, people.
Yeah. Yeah. This is an interesting one too. It's like got Jupiter involved. It's ruled by Jupiter, and it's also conjunct Neptune. So there's like I guess a spiritual truth. That's kind of the biggest way that I want to put it. And I'll also say an interesting thing, just to also tap into the spirituality of it, and to know that like Virgo is inherently spiritual. Everything is, but Virgo spirituality is that stuff we don't think about. It's unrecognized, right? We just don't care about like that work Virgo does. Virgo spirituality is focused on the mundane, daily survival matters and questions that we ask all the time and always have in human history of like, will it rain this season? Will we have abundant harvest this season? Like, will I get married? Will I get this job? Like we ask these very important real world questions, but we often ask them to diviners. So like these are questions I most frequently get, right? Like not, is it going to rain? But like, am I going to meet the love of my life? Am I going to, like, how is my kid going to turn out? Like, I just had that one yesterday. So people ask these like real questions, human questions to someone who can, like, and that's the call, right? The call is what that question. The response they're seeking, Virgo seeks a divinatory response. And astrology is a divinatory practice. That's like how it was always considered. So I say that to say that this is like another piece of advice. If you're struggling on a spiritual end, Virgo works best with a mentor, a teacher. So go find someone who does this for a living, and go ask them your questions. Go seek the help.
Hint. Sup, dogs?
No, really. I mean, like, yeah, for sure. That hint, you know what I mean? But also, I think it's also just like if you can't figure out where you fit in the real world or what you need to be doing in the real physical human world right now, it's okay. Like you can take a spiritual route, but it's more like seeking the answers of what to do through a spiritual means or a divinatory practice like that to know what to do, to follow, like you're following the signs or following your intuition maybe more, which will guide you to that physical world act, basically. So that's that weird balance they have, I guess, between the physical and the spiritual.
Freaking fascinating.
Virgo's so strange. Yeah. But I do like this overall. I would say this will be an eclipse that will impact people if you have any placements at or a couple degrees around 25 degrees of the mutable signs. Pisces especially, Virgo especially, and then Gemini and Sagittarius also. Go figure, my sun is right there. So I'm like,
I was about to say Gemini moon, Pisces sun.
I know.
This is just the year.
Love that.
Let's
could be like but this could be like a miracle coming in. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it could be
that. Yeah.
It really could be. It could be a call and a response that shows up for you. Meaning like if you've been like without faith, right? Pisces has so much connectivity to that. You could see an angel, which then is a response to you questioning is faith real? Is God real? Is the universe real? Is spirituality real? That could be the sign, the response to your question, but it's also the calling to say, now put in the freaking work to develop your spiritual practice or whatever,
Mhm.
right? So these things are
Yeah.
like, it's sort of like a beginning and an ending. It all kind of like intertwines, a call and a
I
response.
invite miracles into my life, please, and thank you.
Love that. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes, yes,
Pisces,
yes, yes,
sign of
yes.
miracles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want a miracle, like that, ask for it in the Virgo new moon, right?
Yeah.
Like it could show up. It could literally show up. I really think people can get what they ask for or what they work toward um this month if you use that Virgo moon productively. Okay, so those are the two transits. And then we will have another eclipse October 2nd. That one is a new moon eclipse. It's like a much more potent eclipse too, but it's a new
Mhm.
moon and it's in Libra. So we're done with Virgo energy at this point. We are ready to start integrating ourselves into something else by that point. I'm not going to get into that because we'll talk about that in October. But
Yeah.
just to say, this is the first of two. Um, all right, next we have,
Mars entering Cancer September 4th.
yeah, we got 5 planetary ingresses. Technically we have a
Mhm.
6th, but whatever, that's in the next thing. Okay, so Mars entering Cancer, Mars planet of action, Cancer, the motherly kind of energy, protection
Mars
and
doesn't like
nurturing.
being here. Mars, I mean, it's, like I know a lot of men with their Cancer and Mars, and it's a difficult placement.
Yeah.
Because trying to have diplomacy, which is something that they seek, but in certain aspects you cannot have that, and it requires a firm tongue. So but it requires pressure. It requires, and so then what happens is, because they didn't stand on business from the get-go, then they snap, and boy, is that a wild time.
Yes. Yes. And this, it's like that emotional regulation with this, so for sure. Like
Hmm.
not being able to at all responding from an emotional space that's like unhealthy would
Hmm.
absolutely be all this shit. Um, there's goodness to it. Like I personally like this placement, but I have a water Mars. I have a Pisces
Oh
Mars,
yeah.
right? But there's also I will say there's like kind of a bit more support because the water signs are like funneling into this too. So there's kind of some help going on here for Mars.
Mm,
It could just be a little too unfocused, like a little
yeah.
too slippery. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
Um, but you're right. Like this is Mars's technically least favorite sign to be in. Its favorite sign is the opposite sign, Capricorn. Um, you get the best of Mars in Capricorn, but in Cancer you kind of get it's worse, which can show up as a lot of things, like passive aggressive energy. Mars is temper, but this is like Mars doesn't know how to be active and direct in Cancer. It's like it's got an attitude, but it's showing up in a real weird and unproductive way,
Mhm.
you know? And I think like you even had brought up before, like the not controlling emotions thing, like this could actually seriously be a thing. If you have a problem with that, or if you respond from an emotional space too much after September 4th. I mean, Mars is going to be in Cancer for the rest of this month. So that could actually seriously show up as a huge problem. Like notice that if your impulse,
And
Mars,
if someone asks you if you have a problem and says that they have an open door policy, I highly encourage you to take that opportunity, open the door, and say so.
yeah, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, yeah,
Intent.
yeah. And I would even, yeah, especially around that full moon too. Like accept those signs, accept those open doors, like and get clarity with the around that full moon in Pisces on September
It is a
17th.
great time to do that because you have Mercury entry in Virgo. And if you've been listening, then you know that Virgo is going to want that clear, communication.
Yes.
So let's talk, like, let's get it. Like, I might be uncomfortable. I might be passive aggressive. Call passive aggressive out on its, like, label it if you see it. But use clear communication in Virgo, Virgo entry Mercury. It likes being here. Utilize that to your advantage.
Yes. It is good for like the protective instincts. So I would say like you might be if you're called to something, a part of your response after September 4th could be this like mm, very innate need and skill you probably have to be able to protect something. Um Otherwise, like it's also good for domestic matters, home life matters in general. You can be very productive at home or like fixing up the home, working on the personal life. I guess you might be sleeping more too. Mars just kind of like poops
Yeah.
out a little bit in Cancer. And what's the other thing? Oh, on a negative end too, you, along with the emotional regulation stuff, you really want to be careful of responding to immediate or like current events or
Ooh.
future thoughts, I guess, um,
Mhm.
from a place of the past. Because Cancer is nostalgic, it rolls your past and memories, and it's like if you're starting to date, but you just your last relationship was like torture, and they screwed you over in all these ways. You might this month eh, go on a first date with someone and just be responding from that space that you were in.
Do not trauma dump on anyone. Don't do that.
No, that's so crazy because I have like so had that inclination lately. I'm not even joking. It's like not like me. I normally I'm like, I won't even tell you how my day was. Like, bye. But I've totally wanted to like trauma dump lately. Weird. So maybe I gotta watch for that. So that's Mars in Cancer. Mercury's gonna enter Virgo then on September 8th, where it rules. So yay, we love that. It's just gonna help you with all this Virgo energy. We don't even need to go further into that.
Hmm. Sun enters Libra September 22nd. We'll get into that though later. That's the fall equinox. If you're in Charleston, I will be having a sound bath, a Reiki infused sound bath that day. So, but we get into that a little bit later. Venus entering Scorpio. Ooh, that is
Yeah.
happening September 22nd.
Yeah, this is another one where Venus technically doesn't like, just like Mars doesn't love Cancer, Venus doesn't love Scorpio, but this is also what I'm saying. There's like some helpful energy, especially this point onward, because Venus is in Mars's sign. So Mars being in another water sign, which Venus is good in Cancer, they kind of are going to help each other. Definitely that point
Hmm.
onward. So if until September 22nd, you deal with some relationship issues, financial issues, it could actually start to really gel after September 22nd. I kind of like that, but
Cool.
it depends on your chart, of course. Venus in Scorpio, I think what I like about it is it can be very fearless emotionally and relationally. And it's very intelligent with like money, thank God. Um,
Hmm.
and there can be a lot of healing through the act of getting involved with any of these things, like facing a fear head on. It's like Scorpio is just like not afraid of things. So like if you have relationship healing to do, going on dates with new people could be the healing that's needed. It doesn't have to be this
Yeah.
solo vibe at this point, especially now that the sun's in Libra. You're done with the self mastery and the separation at this point. You are now in partnership zone at that point. So you are trying to figure out where you fit, or actually apply it at that point. You already know where you fit.
Hmm.
Um, trying to really, is there anything else I want to say? I don't think so. I don't know. It's very vulnerable though, very like sexy energy.
I was about to say, yeah, I was about to say, like, Venus and Scorpio, you're gonna get, dick down. I always tell everybody who's going through like any sort of like divorce or single, like, you need to go find yourself a Scorpio. Like, just get
Yeah,
ravaged by that man or woman or them or they,
yeah.
like that's gonna if you're capable of having detached emotional sex in that moment, you will
Okay, but
enjoy
that's the thing.
yourself.
But that's actually what I'm concerned about. Like the emotions are very attached. Like I really think so. Or it's like somebody who cries like afterwards, or
Oh,
like they just want to cuddle all night long afterwards. Like it's that vibe. Like there's the emotional connection going. It's a little more sentimental too. Like there's more
yeah.
meaning to it. So I mean, go have a hookup or whatever, but do expect that like you might be like, wait, why are they being cute? Um, but I mean that's not a bad thing. It just depends on who you are and what you need. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. And then finally the last one is Mercury entering Libra. This is like really beneficial for more productive communication with other people. Very different than Mercury when it was in Virgo, it flies through Virgo too. It enters
Mhm.
Virgo September 8th and then leaves September 26th. That's crazy to me.
Yay.
It's like I am out of retrograde. Let's pick up the pace here. It's so serious. So we're like very much skill building this month. And then in Libra, it's about like a bit more of a calm comes in. Libra's a sign of tranquility. So communications get much more graceful. There's a lot of social etiquette that comes into this, diplomatic, mediation can come into play. If you're like, you could be a mediator, or if you and someone else are like sparring, there's a lot of harmony that can now come in. You both are
Yeah.
more willing to work through things together. You can be indecisive. This is where that echo energy also comes in. So if you're in an unhealthy relationship, or you're codependent, or someone else is codependent on you, you might notice that start to like really pick up at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I want to say about that one.
And yeah. Then we got some retrogrades.
Yeah, I'm just going to reference these because they're outer planets. We really only have one, and they both of these. So, and it's on September 1st. September 1st, Uranus turns retrograde in Taurus. Whatever. It's been in Taurus since like 2017, 2018. It's gone retrograde there numerous times. It's retrograde like half the fucking year. Who cares? All I want to say about this is wherever Taurus is at in your chart, Uranus has been shaking some stuff up there for sure, especially probably over the last like 1 to 2 years. It's been real active.
Mm-hmm.
It is now retracing its steps that it started taking on May 16th. So wherever Taurus is in your birth chart, look at the house. What house is
Ooh.
that rule? What developments have kind of especially unexpectedly transpired since May 16th in that part of your
Mm-hmm.
life? Uranus can unexpectedly shake it up again. So get ready. And on that same day too, this is technically another ingress of planet changing signs, but it's retrograde. Pluto is retrograde, right? It's gonna on September 1st retrograde backwards from Aquarius back into Capricorn. I have to bring this up. I don't think anybody's going to feel this very personally unless you have planets at 29 degrees of Capricorn, or the other cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. If you have personal planets of 29, 27 to 29 degrees of those signs, maybe Pluto's going to do something for you. Otherwise, it's probably collective, but I just have to say this because it is the final stop. It's never coming back here again for 250 years. So, and then on October 11th, it turns direct. So this is the only month where we will get it retrograde in Capricorn. And it doesn't even get a whole half degree back into Capricorn, by the way. It's just the very freaking end of the sign. It feels very symbolic on a collective end to me.
Yeah.
But
The end of an era.
it is. It's seriously,
Yeah.
seriously is. It's crazy, crazy. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody else saw my Bismos talk. I think it's free. I need to check that. Well, I mean, it was free to watch it, and then people got sent it. I need to see if it's on the website though, just like for anybody to watch. But anyway, I talked about aliens. I'm not even kidding, dude. I cannot believe I brought up aliens, but like this is kind of part of it. Like I feel more so not like aliens are coming down on Earth, but like disclosure that I think there's been some really interesting stuff while Pluto's been in Aquarius lately. It going back into Capricorn is like, all right, now classified information again. But then October 11th, when it leaves retrograde and it's in Capricorn, October 11th to November 19th, it's moving forward in Capricorn for the final time. That feels like a very important time where I think that it probably won't be public at that point, but there will probably be things going on behind the scenes in high offices, whistleblowery type stuff, right? That comes out later. So November 19th, Pluto hits Aquarius again. I'm that point onward. Like my keyword is disclosure, declassifying information, access to previously hidden information. I just think we're going to see a lot of whistleblower energy after November 19th. But I just had to say that. It's like its final little trip going to Capricorn.
Toodaloo.
Careful. It will oppose my moon. So like I can expect to feel that. And that's been like a crazy couple of years of having Pluto oppose my moon. Yuck. Hate that. I think it turned me into a crybaby again. I'm so serious. Like I used to like not be as much of one. I was when I was a kid, and then I just wasn't for a long time. Now I'm like mushy, gushy, emotional at everything. And Pluto's just doing that. So hopefully this final trip is like resilience for me. I'm so serious, dude. It's like really annoying. I'm like,
I
I
know.
just feel like
I'd be
I'm
annoyed
PMSing
too.
all the time. I mean, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And go figure
Yeah.
moon is like home,
Yeah.
home
Mm-hmm.
related stuff, domestic stuff. Like, oh my God, what is Pluto doing to me? Um,
You
so
for a
crazy.
ride, boy.
I know. So anyway, I'm ready for it to get back into Cap or Aquarius. Anyway, so those are the two things. The next theme I have is really this is the mini theme that made me think of call and response. Like, because this is happening pretty much throughout the month, this little mini theme. And then it's what made me think of the Echo Narcissus myth. Like it all just fucking fit because of this. So this little theme is Mercury following the sun. Go figure it's Mercury following the sun too. Just like Echo was following Narcissus. Narcissus
Mm-hmm.
is Leo. Leo's ruled by the sun. Crazy to me, dude. And Mercury, the planet of communication, Echo was just communicating back what the sun did.
Mm-hmm.
How fucking perfect is all of this? Like, why does this fit so well? I'm like so shocked. Like, it's after I put the pieces even on the paper that I started realizing, like, whoa, this fits better than I thought. Um,
Because it's your jam.
I know. So in my mind, what this is like a much longer storyline at play all month. I'm not going to go through every one of these little things. It's all freaking month, okay? But basically, what's happening is the sun does something. Like it opposes Saturn, and then it squares Jupiter, and then it does some stuff to Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
throughout the month. The time frame in particular we're looking at is uh September 7th until September 25th. There's the call response, call response, call response, like 20 days there, basically, 18, I guess, of the sun being a call, right? Sun is visibility. It shines a light onto something. It's going to illuminate something. You'll be aware of something. Mercury is the response, right? So you may have multiple calls and responses happening
Mm-hmm.
this month. The Saturn one opposition, I'm just going to say real briefly, the Saturn opposition could be a difficult um like a call to face a challenge, to like actually persevere and push through an
Yeah.
obstacle that you've been like kind of avoiding. That's on the 7th. On the 18th, that's when Mercury responds. So I'm saying this to say it's not an immediate call and response here. It's not an immediate echo either. There's like the time between the echo, I guess, closes in as the month goes on, but there is a clear illumination of the
Yeah.
call or the issue at hand, and then you sit with it, right? Virgo's gonna like be strategic and like want to give the best possible response. So there's no need to have knee-jerk reactions at all this month with your
Yeah.
responses. I think you can answer the call, but be like, I'll get back to you on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that first one is Saturn opposition, difficult challenge you're made aware of, and then you choose to respond to it on the 18th. Then a Jupiter square. I mean, this is overconfidence. Where have you been overdoing it, overestimating something? Like you will be made aware of that. That feels like the very narcissistic kind of energy could come into play, basically. Then you might retreat a little bit, and then that's on the 12th, and then on the 21st, the response comes, and you might be like taking those measures to ensure that you're keeping the ego in check a little,
Yeah.
or working on better communication tactics. I could see that being a thing too. The next ones I can't even go through it all. Like these are too much. But basically, the sun in a 2-day period on the 19th, 20th, the sun hits Uranus, then Neptune, then Pluto, and then that's the 19th, 20th. You're aware of something, like a few things. Then on the 24th and 25th, that's the response. That Mercury does the same 3 things. So that's kind of crazy to me. These are all outer planet
Just
stuff.
like a dance. Yeah. It's a dance that's going back and forth.
And it's call response, call response, call response. Look at that. What do you think of it? And you're like, what do I think of that? I don't know. This is just like all September. It's really crazy. Like this is like interesting to me. But then what's really beautiful to me, and this is like the goodness of this month and part of the promise of things coming together at the end of the month for you if you're putting in the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last alignment of the entire month, the last planetary aspect that happens is a Mercury Cazimi. A Mercury Cazimi is when the sun and Mercury are together at the exact same space. This is happening on September 30th.
And they're happy. It's like I like to think of a kazemi
Yes.
kazoo, because you're not going to have a kazoo out unless you are happy. So anytime
Yes.
there's a kazemi, kazoo, happy.
Dude, like, when are you upset with the kazoo?
Never.
Like, I love a
It's
kazoo.
exactly. It's illegal. You're not going to be like, I'm really sad. Let me get my kazoo out.
I mean, let me play a sad song for you. I'm gonna do a ballad now.
Let me get my kazoo out.
Ew.
I'm gonna play
Could you
"Unbreak My
imagine?
Heart" by Tony Braxton.
Please do. Holy shit. The cover photo for this episode is going to be a kazoo floating in space. Just going to make it a big cosmic kazoo.
Yeah, you gotta make that the opener.
I will do that. That's going to be what it is. I love it. Okay, so and yes, but she's right. She's right. You got your kazoo out. There is alignment at the end of the month. But here's what I want to say about it is like this is why the Echo Narcissus story I think is really important. You cannot skip the Virgo. By this point, Sun and Mercury aren't in Virgo. Virgo's not at play anymore when they align. The goodness of this is if you put in that Virgo work all month, right? There's the payout there at the end of the month of the alignment of you getting what you want, of Echo having that curse being broken.
But if you don't, you can't be having a celebratory kazoo celebration if you have not done the work. There'll be no kazoo for you.
No, this won't work then at that point. It really won't. Like, because this can be another epiphany, like often at the Mercury Kazemi. Oh, and for what it's worth, it's at 2:09 p.m. on Pacific time on September 30th. I say that because it's a very limited window of time. Like, I mean, it'll technically be active throughout the day, but like you want to be as close to 2:09 p.m. Pacific, so 5:09 p.m. Eastern. Because that's when the Kazemi is actually happening. Kazemi meaning in the heart of. So it's like Mercury's at the throne of the sun, which can be an ultimate moment of clarity. If you ask a question to the universe, you can get a very quick response, weirdly. Or like something you've been struggling with, you could just have that solution come in. I forget what it was. I wish I would have written it down, but I had one the last time there was a Mercury Kazemi. It happens a couple times a year. But
Yeah.
oh my God, I had one and I was like, I realized it like the next day and was like, holy crap, I totally had this crazy moment of clarity. But again, it's like, if you're not putting in the work, the moment of clarity here doesn't need to be good. All we know is like a moment of clarity with a Libra bend to it, which all Libra does is balance the scales, right? So if you haven't been putting in the work, that moment of clarity to balance the situation could actually be a harsh like bit of news for you. But it's like unavoidable. It's very clear that like you didn't do what you needed to do. You missed the call.
There's no kazoo for you. Better not see anybody just out here playing.
Yeah, now you're playing a sad song. Now you're playing a fucking sad song.
Break
You'll be
my
the world's
heart.
first depressing kazoo player.
Don't you ever do. If you send me you sending playing a sad ballad on a kazoo, block. I don't have time for that sort of negativity. Block. I don't care who you block.
We will accept anybody who's like might actually have like recordings of themselves playing kazoos though. Like feel free to email
I will
us.
love that. Now, now I do want those celebratory kazoo moments, okay? And then like put on the screen what you're celebrating, and then why you chose that song in text. I want to read it while you're playing your jam.
Yeah, this will be for our eyes only, unless you explicitly give us permission to air it in a future episode. We will probably do that
Please
if you
do.
tell us
Let's
to.
celebrate you. Why not?
Okay, the final thing I have to say is just a couple days of caution and opportunity. I don't even need to like really get into what these are. These are just extra days.
Okay, so we got caution. September 15th. Nope.
You know what? And actually, I do want to say something about that one. No, I do. Because what's happening in this is Mars in Cancer, where it's kind of struggling, is squaring 90-degree angle T-boning the North Node and the South Node. This is important because Mars rules rules Scorpio and Aries, right? The North Node, which is where we're supposed to go and grow, is in Aries. So Mars is the ruler of the North Node. Aries, sign of the individual, the self. South Node is in Libra. We're not supposed to be
doing too much for other people at this point. If there's a selfish day to tap into your inner narcissist, it's September 15th. You want to make sure that you're not getting pulled in two different directions and really, I don't know, going against what's best for you. Put yourself first on this day. This actually really reminds me too. I was going to say, I brought this up before. Uh, the whole thing about that we talked about, like filling from an like empty cup, and how like the
Hmm.
sun feeds itself first, right? Like everything,
Yeah.
it is literally in the universe that like we must take care of ourselves if we want to be of service. And Virgo wants to be of service, but you can't be of service this day if you're not of service to yourself first. Like refine the self at this point.
Check
Do what
yourself,
you need
player.
to do. So I really do want to say that. That my caution there is like you not taking care of you on the 15th. September 22nd, all I'm going to say about that is caution. And I do not like that as a day for meeting anybody. Do not do it. I don't like
Okay.
it.
No
Bad.
dates. Dates.
Not don't go on a new date. If you do, just be prepared for someone to like completely ruin your life.
I
I speak from
literally
experience.
spit. Okay, like spit just came a lot because have never said anything like that, but also in such a casual manner, like prepare for impending doom immediately. And I told you so. So you know what?
That was my version of your, and also people can die on this. Like what? We might need to like learn how to play a sad song on a kazoo at this point
No,
because
no, no. No, no,
tragedies. No,
no.
no, no. So those are the
No.
only two bad days, only 2 days of
Okay.
caution. Then there's opportunity, okay? And they're really good ones. These opportunities are like super sweet. September 3rd,
Yep.
I don't good for love and money. That aesthetics, loving on yourself even.
Ooh,
Particularly if it's like you're getting over something that's prohibited you from doing that well. That's probably
gotcha.
the best way to say it. So there may be a release, but it's actually making something sweeter. September 11th, never forget,
Hmm.
never
Yeah,
forget.
I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it's a nice day.
It is a nice day.
Yeah.
Mercury and Virgo, sextile Mars and Cancer. That's a very sweet day, very productive. Like it's like emotions and actions and thoughts all very aligned
Kind.
and
Like a kind day.
focused on the intention. Yeah. Whatever I'd say whatever you did at the new moon to like set an intention or
Hmm.
like get a new thing going, that would be the perfect day to sit down, assess how that's going so far. Do you need to optimize further at that point? You have a lot. That's like a really good, like extra boost of energy
Yeah.
there. Um, September 14th, one of the luckiest days that you can have. Venus
Oh,
trine Jupiter. Beautiful.
and
Beautiful.
Gemini. What's up, baby? Yeah.
I know. Venus and Libra, the sign she rules. Trine Jupiter and Gemini. Like,
So you
I
can
mean,
go. Yeah. So good day to go on a date.
excellent day to go on a date. Excellent day to ask for a raise. The problem with this is trines like this tend to be like lazy. Like it's just flowing smooth. So we don't think we need to work on improving it. But a little bit of effort with this
Just
goes a very
a
long
little bit of
way.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this could be a day where you're realizing like, oh wow, I've got like, more saved than I thought in the bank. But what you should be doing is not only appreciating that, but then also going and asking your boss for more because you probably get it. Uh, you know,
Perfect.
um, yeah, it's really, really good. Ask somebody out that day. Take the leap of faith if you want to.
You like me? I like you. Yeah.
Yeah, work on
End of the
mutual
cool.
reciprocity.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. End of the. We need to do a episode about like end of the cool girl and cool dude era because I think that's over. Like the era of pretending to be aloof. So your mushy gushy side, let it loose, motherfuckers.
That's what I think too. Like, because I keep seeing like shit about like people who, take at least 20 minutes to respond on text to someone when they first start dating or whatever, because they don't want to seem like I'm that available or whatever. And I'm like, these are like stupid games that who came up with it? And why are you doing it? To seem cool, to
Yeah.
make yourself seem less available. Like, listen to yourself. Fuck
Hmm.
that cool person vibe.
Yeah.
What's
It's
cool
over.
is communication and showing the fuck up. Okay. That's
Hmm.
what's cool.
What gets it going, baby?
And being in control of your fucking emotions.
Yeah.
That's like not in control of your emotions, to be honest. That's you suppressing emotion. You have no
Excitement.
control of your emotion if you're doing that.
Yeah. It's a fine balance. It's a fine
Yeah,
balance.
dude. Yeah, dude. So I really like that. I feel like there was something else I was gonna say. All I would say, if you get a compliment from someone, return that freaking compliment. You know what I mean? And freely give out the compliments. Random acts of kindness. Do good things. Do good things that day.
Smile. Yeah, smile at people.
Yeah, it's really good energy, honestly.
Good.
Accept anything, any help, any gifts that are given to you. And if you've got things to give them back. September 29th is also such a sweet freaking day. This is the day right before the Mercury Kazemi, right? Mercury Kazemi is on the next day, the final thing that indicates like harmony coming into the picture here, you being able to get what you want. But the 29th has three things, one of which is Mars in Cancer, making a trine to Saturn in Pisces. Saturn, which was opposing that new moon, saying, start something. It's going to take you a minute, repetition. Your payout's coming if you are consistent here. And then at the end of the month, here's Mars offering victory. Thank
Beautiful.
you, supported by Saturn. Like this is very, very, very beautiful to me. There is an absolute beautiful culmination. I think a lot of people are going to have a very sweet end of September.
Good.
If you focus on September. I've been like, even in the Virgo spirit, you know what? Let me just say it. In the Virgo spirit of refinement, bits, cutting things down a little bit, more manageable doses or whatever. I have been feeling that vibe of like, you know, all this people that are like, give yourself 6 months, disappear for 6 months and watch what happens. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm like, I can't afford 6 months. Like, I can't think about how, I don't want to do that either. Like, I don't want to be like in hiding for 6 months or whatever. But you know what I could do? 30 days. I could do September. I could fucking do September.
Solo September, baby. Getting it.
I mean, I'm already like not posting on social media and shit. Like that's not, I don't mean it. I'm not even saying what I really mean it for, but like, I just mean like, maybe I really do that like stealth work, right? Head down, do my work. Don't expect attention. Yep.
Like, break those cycles, come out October 1 like a shiny penny. What up, baby?
Yeah. Break it. Yes, exactly. When the new moon in Libra, well, it's an eclipse. New moon eclipse in Libra on October 2nd, allowing you to then just like get more. Like, yeah.
So if you put head down, ass up, that way, you know, you can get a little treat if somebody's passing by. But
like you want to make yourself available.
Nothing says availability and hard work like a head down, ass up position. And then when you need to, you know, lower that caboose down, when you need to hustle, make it happen. If you could see your facial expression sometimes.
Why? I can't. Sorry.
They're just priceless. All right, guys. Well, good luck. Godspeed. Let us know.
Godspeed. Do you know what? One of my friends who was like a scientist in the spirit again of like Virgo kind of struggling with some of this shit. Oops. Sorry. And them not being tapped into spirituality as much or whatever. It's not as easy. One of my friends who is a scientist, literally a scientist from Vegas and agnostic or atheist, can't remember, never said Godspeed, but he would say good speed. I love that.
Oh,
good speed. What a like same sentiment, but you're removing the religion out of it. Go for it, man.
Good speed.
Good speed.
Good speed, baby. I like that. I'll make it Southern, but I like it. All right, well, send us those kazoos.
Please do.